I'm Indio from BioBrain, and today we're going to go over the steps of synapse. So, the very first thing that we need to realize is that all a synapse is the passing of an action potential from a presynaptic neuron to a postsynaptic neuron. So, a postsynaptic neuron is going to receive the message from the presynaptic neuron, and the presynaptic neuron is going to send the message to the postsynaptic neuron. Very important. And how it does that is through an exchange of sodium and potassium, which we won't get into too much because that's more a physiological concept and it's not needed for anatomy. This is very basic. So, when this exchange reaches the axon terminal, the nerve impulse reaches the axon terminal, it's going to cause openings of calcium channels. So when calcium channels open, their ions flood the neuron and they're going to bind to synaptic vesicles. Here we have synaptic vesicles right here. When the calcium binds to these vesicles, the vesicles are going to open and they're going to release chemical neurotransmitters. There's all types of different neurotransmitters and they're going to do all kinds of different things. We have acetylcholine, for example. Acetylcholine is going to cause muscle contractions. So, when the neurotransmitters exit the vesicles, they're going to come down even further. They're going to leave the axon terminal bulb, which is this guy, right? And they're going to flood the synaptic cleft. The synaptic cleft is just this space between the postsynaptic neuron, or let's say it's the neuromuscular junction, or whatever it is. In this case, it's a dendrite of another neuron. So this is a neuron to neuron communication. So when these neurotransmitters flood the synaptic cleft, they're going to send a signal to the postsynaptic neuron. You see, the postsynaptic neuron, here we have it, it's going to receive the neurotransmitter and basically it's going to follow the direction of the neurotransmitter. Each neurotransmitter has a different instruction, like we said, with acetylcholine is going to cause muscle contraction. And once the signal has been sent, once the postsynaptic neuron or what have you receives the neurotransmitter, enzymes are going to cause a breakdown of the remaining neurotransmitter, the neurotransmitter that this postsynaptic dendrite did not use. So that's one way that the neurotransmitters leave the synaptic cleft. Another way is they can be there's a reuptake process where these neurotransmitters are going to go back up into the presynaptic axon terminal. And an example of that is dopamine. Dopamine has a reuptake system, but that's more physiological, so we won't get into that too much. So basically, the main takeaway is that the 5 steps of the synapse include the transmission of the nerve impulse, the action potential, which remember is just an exchange of sodium and potassium. And then when they reach the terminal bulb, calcium ions are going to come and bind to the synaptic vesicles. And then the synaptic vesicles are going to release neurotransmitters that are going to flood the synaptic cleft and communicate with the postsynaptic dendrite. When all of that is said and done, the neurotransmitters are either going to be broken down by enzymes or they're going to go back up into the presynaptic neuron, and there you have it. It's really not as complicated as it seems. I hope you guys got some good information from that and have a better understanding of the synapse, and I'll see you guys soon.